So what is the future of our city centers in COVID and beyond? Is there really a mass exodus taking place, or is it all a myth? Welcome in Silicon Valley star investor and host of the All In podcast, Jason Calacanis, joining us tonight. It's good to see you. You heard the senator. These states and cities don't need any more money. Is he right?
Well, I mean, San Francisco is a complete disaster right now. The number of people who've left during COVID is just nothing short of stunning. The number of restaurants that have shut down. And really, in my job as an early stage investor, what we're seeing is young people don't want to come here anymore. And they don't think they need to come here anymore because of remote work and because people are funding companies over Zoom. And you know what? They're right. So I would say I follow where young, ambitious people want to go, both artists and entrepreneurs, and they do not want to come to San Francisco right now. It's too expensive. It's too dangerous. They want to go to Miami. They want to go to Austin. They want to go to New York. They want to go to LA, Nashville, anywhere but San Francisco. I think it's a 5 to 10 year slide down.
Wow, that's a long period of time. You've been railing on this issue on Twitter and elsewhere on your podcast for months. We're going to show some of the tweets right now. San Francisco devolution compounded with crime, cost, and homelessness. The pandemic, executives and high tax-paying companies are leaving. You talk about home sales are at a 20-year peak in the city. Is it temporary or is it permanent?
I think this is a 5 to 10 year story. We had an incredible run up where young people wanted to be here and they wanted to start their companies here. But it turned out to be a false narrative. We all bought into this vision that in order to build an at-scale company, the next Uber, Airbnb, Twitter, you needed to be here. You needed to be near the venture capitalists. You needed to be near the, alumni of these great companies. And now, because 100% of people have embraced remote work, you simply do not need to be here. And the government is completely dysfunctional. And actually, San Francisco's government and a portion of the populace do not like the tech industry. They hate tech entrepreneurs. They hate, people who have become ultra wealthy. And they're making it very clear that they don't want more tech people here. And places like Miami and Austin are the beneficiaries. So I think this will be a 5 to 10 year story. I think it's got to bottom out and maybe artists start looking at, hey, the rents are so cheap in San Francisco, it's an opportunity. But I don't see it happening for at least another 5 to 10 years. And really, when I saw Jack at Twitter and Square say, we're not going back to the offices, and I saw Pinterest pay, I think close to $100 million to cancel their new headquarters, that's when you realize that this is not a temporary thing. This is a permanent thing.
It depends, though. It depends where you look, because if you look outside of San Francisco, that's certainly not the case. I looked at a new Harris poll today. 7 in 10 people surveyed in Metro New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, and Philadelphia say they prefer to live in a big city. Only 8% said they would live in the suburbs. Oh, those big cities that I mentioned to you, Jason, they have crime, they have poverty, they have high price and high cost of living. So what's the difference?
It was nowhere near, I think, the cost of living of San Francisco. We started to hit $4,000, $5,000 for a 2-bedroom. And combined with the tax situation here and combined with the crime and the homelessness, which is much worse, I think it kind of broke people's backs. And I think if you look at low tax states, Miami and Austin, you have some of the super routers, the real hubs of the network, whether it's Elon or Keith Rabois moving. And I don't think they're coming back. And young people are going to follow them and they're going to follow their example. I do think young people want to be in cities. I just don't think they want to be in this one.
I just don't know. I wonder if some of it's being exaggerated. And I go back to the now famous op-ed that Jerry Seinfeld wrote in the New York Times, not only defending New York City, but speaking out about your home, Silicon Valley. So among other things, energy, attitude, and personality cannot be remoted through even the best fiber optic lines, he says. That's the whole reason many of us moved to New York in the first place. You ever wonder why Silicon Valley even exists? I've wondered. Why do these people all live and work in that location? They have all this insane technology. Why don't they just spread out wherever they want and connect with their devices? Because it doesn't work. People need and want to be together.
There is something to that. I think the disconnect is between young people and then people with families. I think people with families who are really grinding it out and not enjoying the lifestyle here, the great pause of this pandemic gave them permission, which they really never needed, but it did give them that pause and permission to try living in Tahoe or Salt Lake City or Austin. And so I think it does have to do with what stage in your life you're at. But cities are great. And New York is unique in all the world amongst cities. That is a totally different class of city. That's like 10 cities put together. So New York's not going anywhere. It may get a little cheaper. There may be more storefronts that are empty. But really, San Francisco, I think, got way too expensive. And a lot of people now are looking at that $4,000 apartment and just saying, you know what, I'm starting a family. I'd rather pay a $1,500 or $2,500 mortgage than pay $4,000 for a 2-bedroom.